Hello, everybody, and welcome to another rousing episode of 4 Questions. Question number 1.
Wow, that's a great question.
Question number 2.
Oh, wow.
He stumps me.
Question number 3.
Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
that's such a good one.
The 4th and final question.
Man, I mean,
Hello, everybody. Welcome
What's
to
up,
4
y'all?
Questions with So Close to Greatness. I'm your guest, Robbie Clark. Joining me today are my hosts, Cliff,
What up, y'all?
Jamal, and Kat. And as always, actually, this is a very special 4 Questions because this is the first time I've ever had 4 people on it.
Yes.
So what we're gonna do? I just now noticed that repping the Juggalos.
it's actually this is my clothing brand. It's called Weirdos.
Oh, weird. Okay.
But yeah, this is one of the characters, Juggalo Weirdos.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a stoner one.
Your own clothing brand.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right. So we just recorded an episode remembering Stanley, and towards the end it got a little rough. Towards the beginning it got a little rough. And today, for 4 questions, I'm going to ask each of you one question individually, and then I'm going to ask a question that we all answer. Okay?
Okay.
So the first question, Cliff,
Right.
you told me that the first Marvel film you watched upon hearing about Stanley's death was Black Panther.
Right.
What was your reaction the first time you saw Civil War and saw that character on the big screen for the first time?
Man, wow, that's a great question. I was excited. I just remember being really excited because I didn't think that character was, going to be displayed in the movie. I had no heads up. I didn't know he was going to be in that movie. And, how they did it, they kind of start off with a son who's trying to avenge his father's death. So I was thinking, okay, this guy's mad and he's just trying to avenge his father's death. And next thing you know, he's got the Black Panther suit and you're like, oh my God, it's Black Panther. So to me, it was super cool. I was excited. And I was also curious is this the opening for a Black Panther movie? Which it was. And boom. So it was, I think it was really, really big moment. I was pretty excited about it.
I'll tell you, one of the things I love most about Black Panther was the grace that he exhibited.
Yeah.
Where he, Zemo, he could have just let Zemo shoot himself, but he not only did he forgive Bucky at the end and take him to Wakanda, but he also made sure that guy got what he deserved instead of letting him take the easy way out.
Yeah, and he looks out for Bucky when he gets there.
Yeah,
he's like,
and I think
cool.
I think he's a fantastic character. I do, and I think they've done him a world of justice on the big screen.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely, I agree.
Jamal, we've talked a lot about XMen. You talked about X1 being the fight scene between Sabretooth and Wolverine in the forest being exactly what a comic on the big screen should look at. We just talked about the timeline being erased. Do you feel in any way that the X-Men timeline, regardless of its erasure or anything like that, do you think the X-Men timeline has gotten too convoluted and should sort of just stop for a little bit at all?
I honestly think that at the point where they did the horrible but great Wolverine origin, they were supposed to do a Gambit origin movie, which they're still talking about. They're doing a Dark Phoenix. I felt like they should stop trying to do the X-Men team movies and do the origin of each X-Men that played a big role, which they're kind of getting into. But they were supposed to drop a Gambit movie right after they dropped the X-Men Origins movie. Instead of doing that, they did another Wolverine movie, which was horrible again in Japan. But as far as the timeline, I'm loving what they're doing with the going back to when they were kids, learning their powers. Professor Xavier learning everything he was learning and trying to teach them, and just now opening up the school for the people that don't know who Xavier is, and they have no idea that Magneto and Professor X were best friends growing up. They have no idea. I mean, they kind of show it in X1, 2, and 3. They was playing chess together, but they don't really get into how close they were, and they're kind of tapping into that when they're going back in time. But yeah, I do think they should stop focusing on the teen movies because even Apocalypse was supposed to be so much greater of a movie. It was
just
supposed to be
wasn't.
so
It
much
was
greater.
subpar.
Man, I mean, it's cool. They showed Colossus, and they showed the Archangel with the metal wings, like great. But it was just, man, I really feel like they need to stop doing the teen movies and just focus on the origins, which I feel like that's what they're doing right now with the Dark Phoenix coming out. Hopefully they have a Gambit movie coming out.
God, hopefully they do.
That's yeah.
Here's question 2.5. It's gonna go to you as well. Channing Tatum as Gambit. How do you feel about that?
I have lots of feelings.
We got a
right.
scrunched up face right over here.
So here's what I know for a fact. About Marvel. They haven't made a mistake yet on casting.
Facts.
Yeah.
They haven't.
I 100% agree.
So when I heard Channing Tatum playing Gambit, I made a scrunched up face. I kind of thought twice about it, but they have not made a mistake on casting any character in any role.
Well,
I think they know something.
I'll say it might not have been a mistake at the time, but I'm super glad that Don Cheadle is Rhodey and Terrence Howard is not.
Exactly. Yeah. They did take him out.
I think that's the only flub that they've done. But thank God it all worked out.
They fixed
in the end.
that quick, and you kind of forget Terrence Howard was even.
I think they should go back and refilm all those scenes with Don Cheadle.
But he can cry without crying.
You've all obviously watched the animated X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, like cartoons. Okay. Taylor Kitsch as Gambit in the Wolverine Origins movie
was perfect.
on point.
Yes, that's the type of Gambit I'm thinking
that
of.
he
is
fits
a guy like
Remy
him. Yeah.
to
Remy LeBeau.
on the head to a T. I'm gonna be so mad. Like I have nothing against Channing Tatum, but I will be pissed off if he becomes
Channing's gonna
Gambit.
make it more
more
squeaky clean.
I got you.
I thought it was
not
agreed.
as dark.
Agreed.
Not as
Agreed.
dark.
Gambit has always been one of my favorite characters in X-Men from Jump. So to finally see him in the movie on the Wolverine Origins when they was playing at the gambling scene, he was making the cards float up in the alley.
Oh my God!
As
it was
a kid,
so
as a
good.
kid, childhood fan, I was losing my mind on that scene. They didn't give him too much in the movie.
Loved it.
I was waiting for them to drop the Gambit movie, and they postponed it. So I hope Channing Tatum does it justice because Marvel hasn't made me mad on anything they've done yet.
Good point.
Cool.
But
Cool.
this was strictly, I mean, it was going to be produced by Channing Tatum, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wait a
So it was
minute.
like
Hold on.
he's a producer in there.
That's a little different.
Yeah, that's different.
He had a
Hold on.
huge foot in that. Like
Chill
handling
out.
that. So,
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, if
Interesting.
I'm remembering correctly, it was a long time ago that was talked about,
Yeah.
and I read like 3 dozen articles about it because I was really angry. But
All
anyway,
right.
I digress.
All right. Question 3. Kat.
Yes.
As a writer, you've mentioned Stan Lee's influence on you. What in particular about his writing really speaks to you as a creator as well?
As I was screaming after after we stopped the podcast, the characters, how in depth the characters are, and how much they people can really identify with them. Yeah. And even if you're not a super creative person who really questions like how do people come up with characters like that, you can find a character that you go, I know what that person's going through, and they walk with you and they stay with you. And when you don't know what to do, you kind of think to yourself like, oh, what would this person do if they were in this situation? Even me as a person who creates characters, when I'm thinking of my characters, and sometimes I'm just going through like everyday life, or maybe I find inspiration somewhere. I'm like, what would this character do if they were in this situation?
Yeah.
So his characters and their backstories and the history that he creates, you can't have. One thing I really love is that you can't have a character without them having a history. If you throw a character on screen and you don't know the history, if you as a writer don't know what their background is, that character is going to be one-dimensional. You're not going to be able to see. They can't turn around. They're going to turn around and you'll see like they'll disappear because they don't have anything to back them up. And I think that his characters have everything to back them up. They have a history. They had a life. They have a family. That's
Okay. Did you want to keep going? Because you sound like you're on a roll there. Like,
I'm just really passionate about that because I
Sure.
really believe that like if you give your characters something to go off of, they'll take that and they'll run by themselves.
well, it's kind of like we were talking. Is that if you strip the entire Marvel brand away and
Exactly.
kept those characters intact, you'd still have a 3-dimensional character.
Like, okay, I'm going back to DC for a minute. Like, I know Bruce Wayne's parents were killed, and that's what made him become Batman. But are we being a little dramatic? Because I think we are being a little bit dramatic about.
I hate the way in DC how they repetitively show his parents dying in
It's
every
like,
movie.
we get it.
We know.
Well,
We
yeah,
know
it's the
it
point Robbie was
happened.
making about
They don't
being sick in the movie.
They don't start every Iron Man off showing Iron Man in Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
they also didn't start the new Spider-Man showing Uncle Ben dying.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't. That's not the only thing about him that matters. His parents died, and he became Batman, which, in my personal opinion, is a little bit dramatic. But but
like
we
that
get it.
beating you
Your
over the
parents
head.
died. It haunts you. Like, there's more to you than your parents dying and you becoming Batman. There is
Exactly.
more
Right.
to him
Exactly.
than that.
Right.
What shapes your character? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
and
not
I
just
love,
that one thing.
I love that what he said or what Jamal said about they don't open every Iron Man with like showing him in Afghanistan. They don't show him having like flashbacks of Afghanistan. They show him
Exactly.
in Afghanistan. That's how it happened. Move on. There's more to him, and they show that.
Every Batman movie they show his childhood death in
Oh
everyone.
my God, they have to point it out everywhere. It's so dramatic.
It's like you said. It's like you forgot.
we
Our
get
viewers
it.
are dumb. We have to
Yeah.
inform you again.
They don't.
It's like
They
no.
don't trust their viewers,
It's
and
like,
it
we
bothers
get
me.
it.
like, we get it.
Okay, guys. Question 4.
Yeah.
And this is the big ones for all of us. If you could say anything to Stan Lee, what would you say to him? Cliff, we're going to start with you.
Damn. How did you think of these things? How did you come up with these characters? Where did they come from? And I just want to sit and hear him go after that. Like, where did they come from? Simple as that. Because each one of them has so many different things that you can take from them and learn from. And just to hear where they came from would be, I think, would be the most interesting thing for me. Because I can't even put a finger on how you come up with some of these characters. From the XMen to the superheroes like Iron Man and Spider-Man and those guys. I think those are a little more surface level. You can kind of understand that. Tony Stark, and Spider-Man, Peter Parker, you understand where those guys are from. X-Men, you can't wrap your head around that. And that's what I want to know. Like, how did you think of these things? Like Beast and Wolverine. How did you think of a guy like that?
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
Where did
God,
Nightcrawler
Nightcrawler
come
How'd
come
you
from?
think of that?
Yeah.
Dude? Like, how,
A fear.
bruh, just tell
Yeah.
me. Just tell me.
Yeah.
Where did they come from? Where did these ideas come
Cool.
from?
Cool, man. Jamal, what would you say to Stan Lee if you could?
I pictured me being at a Comic-Con event when you first said that, and I could see him sitting in the chair, and I stood in line for like 4 hours just to take a picture, and he could sign an autograph on my comic book. Yeah. And while I shake his hand, I look at him in his eyes, and I say, "You brilliant son of a bitch."
Oh my God, I
Yes.
really think you would enjoy that.
Yeah, he
that's
would.
all
He
I have to
would.
say.
Love it.
I wouldn't
He
have
would
no
love
other
that.
words because
You
Man.
brilliant son of a bitch.
And you think about even deeper
God.
coming from you, a young black male, somebody that's inspired by the stories, and that he would love that so much because that's all
He
he was
would.
about. That's
Yeah.
all he was
Oh
about.
God, he would.
It's just touching souls, touching people, and inspiring them, and making them happy with these stories. And for you to come up and say something like that, I think that would.
that's what I would say.
Awesome. Kat, if you could say anything to Stan Lee, what would you say?
I'd say thank you. Thank you for a lot of things. For the inspiration you gave me and the inspiration that you give and will continue to give, because his inspiration will never die. He is immortalized in his art, in his work. So thank you for what you did and what you continue to do every day. Because without you, there wouldn't be. As a kid, before I started writing, before I started creating my own characters, those characters walked with me.
Man.
Those
Yeah.
characters are the characters that inspired me to make my own, because I wanted to have someone as strong as Wolverine. I wanted to have someone as strong as Jean Grey. Like, I wanted that. So I made it. And I wouldn't have if it weren't for him.
Awesome. I would tell him that he helped me. there have been a lot of dark times in my own particular life, and sometimes it wasn't a friend or a family member that got me out of it. It was something that he created. Like I said, that Iron Man is my go-to frustration film. And when I have a bad day, when I'm sad, when I'm just not feeling like me, I'll put Iron Man on. And it's always when Ho Jensen talks him into, like, this is a very important week for you, isn't it? And then he starts building the suit. I feel like I need to build my own suit of armor. I need to get out there. I need to just take care of whatever I need to take care of. I would tell him that he helped me. And I know that other people have told him that, and I know that other people feel the same way, but I would want him to know that he helped me in particular.
That's cool.
And I think that I said it on the sign off of the other episode that he inspired so many people, and that we are all so much better for having him walk this earth.
Yeah.
So that being said, thank you guys for
thank you.
watching. Well, I was thanking the audience first, but I didn't mean to cheapen it. But thank you guys, for real. Thank you guys. And thank you guys.
No
this
problem,
was an
man.
absolute blast. And
This
just
was
so
fun.
everyone knows, this is recorded on Tuesday, November 13th. It should go up Wednesday, November 21st. And the episode of the podcast was filmed within 24 hours of setting it up. And thank you guys for working with the short notice.
No
and thank you
problem,
guys
man.
for coming in and just talking. This has been a very therapeutic couple hours.
Yeah, great topic.
definitely.
And I gained a lot of perspective. Like, I love these topics. And
Yeah.
this is a good
This
one.
is really the, if I could get paid for what I love to do,
Man.
this would be the greatest conversation to get paid for.
Oh my God, it would
what?
be.
Let's talk about it.
See?
I can do that. I can talk. I
I
got
do
all the
that.
microphones.
I have
do
very
that.
few other friends who are as in love and in go as in depth as I am and do with these things.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to get to meet new people.
You feel like you're, sometimes you're borderline weird because
Exactly.
me and him, that's how we
Exactly.
are. We'll call each other on the phone and giddy like little kids.
Be like, Will
Oh
over
my God,
a
all
scene
the
like
time.
Daredevil. It's in
Wilson
season 3 Daredevil.
I have-
Fisk.
That's
I have
all we've
one
been
other
talking
friend,
about.
her and I, that's what we bonded over when we first became best friends. And we will sit on the phone for hours and talk about it. Oh my God, for hours. We will see every Marvel movie together.
Mm-hmm.
When Agent Nadeem died on Daredevil, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
I called Cliff, and all I could say on the phone was Agent Nadeem like 19 times. In a row. I was like, Special Agent Nadeem.
I'd already seen it, and I told him. He's like, man, this is good. It's good.
I was like,
just
it's
keep
getting great.
watching.
I
Just
thought
keep
they was
watching
gonna
it.
kill Special Agent Nadeem. He was like, man, it gets real. He didn't tell me nothing.
It was like
Then
the
when-
next episode. He's like, I thought Agent Nadeem was gonna get killed. I was like,
and then he gets killed.
why are you quiet? I was like, just keep watching it. Just keep watching.
Special Agent Nadeem.
Well, thank you again, guys, for checking out 4 Questions. Thank you guys for joining me today. And let us know in the comments what you would say to Stan Lee if you could, or what he meant to you, or what your favorite movie is, or what your favorite comic was, or favorite arc, favorite character. Just
Definitely, man.
if anybody out there loves Stan Lee as much as we do, we'd love to hear about it. So thank you again, guys. Thank you, guys. All of our social media information is down below. Along with a note that Kat's novel is almost finished.
Almost
she
done.
needs that encouragement. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. This has
is
been
awesome.
4 Questions. My name is Robbie Clark. This is Cliff, Jamal, and Kat. 4 Questions was so close to greatness, and we'll see you when I've got 4 more.
Peace.
Peace in the Middle East.
I like
Remember when that was a thing?